So Josh Davey, we're here to talk about your life in cricket, so it would make sense to start at the start. Obviously, you've been making headlines recently at World Cups with Scotland, so that's where it all began. Born in Aberdeen, is that right?
Yes, born in Aberdeen. Didn't have a long stay there though, so I moved away when I was 9 months old. Moved to America with my family. My dad worked in the oil industry, so that's why we're moving around quite a lot. Moved to America for a couple of years and then settled in Bury St Edmunds, Suffolk. So that's where I grew up and spent the majority of my young life.
And I understand that, given where you were born, you're the only Scottish member of your family, is that right?
Only Scottish member, that's right, yeah, the only one.
What were your first experiences of cricket? Was it dad and the bat and ball in the garden or at school?
I think it's through school.
Mm-hmm.
Family not really cricket orientated at all. I sort of fell into cricket through friends, I think one of my friends was saying, I'm going down the local cricket club, which was opposite my school, so literally across the road. And he said, you should just come along. And I was like, you know what, I'll do it, because I wanted to just spend time with my friends. So I went down there and played and remembered, I quite enjoy this, I quite like this. So I experienced it more, went a few more times and sort of, I guess, got the snowball rolling really. So
yes, that's the beauty of cricket clubs, isn't it? They are such hubs of the local communities, and it's about families going down there and spending time with their friends, and the game does produce these great stories such as this.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I mean that was it. That's what got me going. I think it was more the social side of it. Just being with your friends, playing, having fun, and it was so close to us. Literally, it felt like quite a safe environment as well, because it was so close to what I was familiar with school just being on the other side of the road. So quite an easy sort of transition, I guess, into cricket.
When did you get an inkling that actually, oh my goodness, this could be a potential career path rather than just spending the afternoon hanging around with your friends?
I don't know. I'm not sure I still think that at all anyway. But I don't know. I think that's probably what drew me into going back. I think the first go I had, I thought, I'm all right at this. I can hit the ball, I can bowl, I can run, I can catch all right. So I think if you enjoy something, or you're quite successful at something, you tend to enjoy it more. So I think probably I picked it up quite quickly. Had a few. It's hard to remember, but I probably had a few good memories of doing something well, maybe won a reward or something like that, and that sort of drew me back into going again.
What were the next steps then? Obviously you said Bury St Edmunds and at school, and what was your journey into the pathway of first class cricket? What was your first sort of step into that world?
So my first step was, I went into Suffolk age groups. So I worked my way up through age groups. School, played from Suffolk under 11s to under 17s, and I think when you're sort of getting towards the end of school and around that sort of age, I was like, actually I would like to pursue, maybe look into playing cricket professionally. So I actually, Suffolk's a little bit out of the catchment. You've got Essex that's close by, but there's not that many teams close to where I was from. So I went off to Gary Palmer's academy, and I spent the early Sunday morning trips, probably 350-mile round trips, going to Gary's academy. And fortunately enough, at one of the training sessions, Toby Radford came down and he watched me train and offered me an invitation to come train and trial in the academy at Middlesex, which I was over the moon about. Get that opportunity, that's what I was looking for. So I'd have probably been 17 at this time, I'd say. So I went down for a trial at Finchley in North London, and I think the trial must have gone quite well, because at the end of the first trial they said, we'd like to offer you a spot to come and join and train with the academy. So from there I never looked back, really, I guess, and every Tuesday and Thursdays I'd go down to Finchley and train with the Middlesex Academy, and that's how it sort of kicked off from the youth to the academy sort of level.
What did it feel like when you were offered that position to think, actually I could make a living at it?
I think it's quite surreal actually, because it all happened quite quickly. I think I went from being in Suffolk under 17s to making my first class debut at 19 it was 18 months to 2 years, so it was actually quite like a quick spiral, like to get into the first class game. But I remember like the feeling of I'm going to a professional club, like, and I'm potentially going to be in the academy was something I'll always remember. I mean, I was so happy. Didn't even bother me that I had to travel 3 hours a day to go and train. It was just so nice to have that opportunity to go and do it.
And then obviously the next steps from the academy into the Middlesex side. How was that transition for you?
It was quick. I made my debut at 19, and it was tough. It was a tough learning curve, I guess. I don't think I was ready, but luckily I was given the opportunity to see what it was about, first class cricket, and I just really enjoyed the experience of getting to see where I was at. I mean, I wasn't that successful, but I did manage to make a 50 on my first game, so I was very pleasing. It kind of like relaxed you a little bit and say, I can perform at this level. But yeah, looking back, it all happened so quickly, so it's quite hard to put it into words, I guess.
Were you always a bowling all-rounder?
No. So, growing up, I was bowling off spin when I was 15, 16, so I started as a batter, and I think that was Middlesex saw me as a top order batter that had the ability to bowl seamers, but I was put onto the academy as a batter and made my debuts as a batter, and I guess slowly I bowled a little bit, but at times when I was playing for Middlesex I wouldn't even bowl on the second team, so it's been, well, where I am now, look where I am there, it's been an interesting path so far, but we can go over that in a little bit.
It's kind of the journey, isn't it? Usually you find that pace bowlers become spinners because they realise they don't have to do quite as much running, but you know. Yeah,
obviously I wasn't the smart one there, was I? So, I don't know I just think opportunities came. I mean, I did develop my bowling as I played for Middlesex, and as I was there over the 4 years, bowling sort of started to develop when I had opportunities, and I guess they saw me more as, towards the end of my time at Middlesex, was more of an all-rounder, sort of 50-50. So I did develop that up and started bowling more, but at my time there I was primarily seen as a batter.
Just before we come on to you joining Somerset, it was Angus Fraser, wasn't it, whilst at Middlesex that turned your eyes onto the potential of being an international cricketer, isn't it?
Yes, I think we're handing our passports in, medical or something like that, and he caught wind that obviously birthplace Aberdeen, so he was like, you know, you can play for Scotland. And I was like, no, I didn't. I had no idea. And that was a quick turnaround because I ended up looking at the qualification process, and yeah, I could play. So I went off when I was that same year. I made my debut for Middlesex. Went off to play in Holland and made my debut for Scotland.
Fantastic. We'll talk about Scotland a little bit more in just a few moments. Let's talk about Somerset. Obviously, you were sort of a batting all-rounder at this point at Middlesex. Maybe not making the breakthroughs that you'd hoped for, and then you were offered a summer contract here at Somerset in 2014. Is that right?
So I was offered. So I got released by Middlesex in 2013. Just I wasn't producing the performances I was like. I think that's fair enough at the time, really. And I think quite naively, I thought, there'll be other opportunities. There'll be counties that will be interested. So I messaged around the county coaches and trying to find an opportunity, and nothing came back. So I eventually I kept pursuing, and I got a response from David Nosworthy. So he said, Josh, yes, we've got an opportunity for you to come and trial with us if you like through the winter. You can train with the squad. I don't know much about you as a player. I haven't seen you play much, so I'm happy for you to come and train. It's unpaid, so make the most of it how you want to. And I thought, well, at that time, that's the opportunity that I had. So came down on trial through the winter, managed to make some good friends, fit into the environment quite well, and in pre-season I believe I had a couple of good pre-seasons games, and I think then he offered a 1-year summer contract, so that was what I had, and I thought, great, like I've managed to sort of wiggle my way back in a little bit here, and I've got an opportunity, so I thought, yeah, I'm going to take that.
Did that make you try all the more harder, almost having dipped out of the game? Did it make you try that extra bit harder to make sure that you stayed in it?
I think so. I think it definitely taught me that playing cricket and having a career as a professional cricketer is so easy to take for granted, so I didn't want to ever get back into that mindset. I thought, looking back at my time at Middlesex, there's so much that I would have changed, but I didn't know because I was so young and I took so much for granted. But this next time round, almost my second lifeline really, I knew that I wouldn't fall into those mistakes again. So just to have that opportunity, I was like, I want to give it everything I've got here and have no regrets this time round.
Obviously, it's an opportunity you grasped with both hands. Then 2015, big year for yourself. Your first class debut here for Somerset against New Zealand, and then the small matter of making headlines at a World Cup. Yeah,
that was a good year. I guess that was almost. I guess that's when I could start to turn people's heads and they could believe that I could be a bowler at the top level, or I could perform and succeed at that level. And I think the World Cup and the opportunity to have with Scotland helped no end, because they actually, the elements of that, getting to bowl more in their size, developed my bowling quite quickly. So those opportunities were brilliant looking back on, and to play in a World Cup was fantastic, really, to go to Australia and experience that. I loved every second of it. And get those experiences of playing at that level and bring them back to Somerset was really good.
Do you think your experiences with Scotland made you a better player here for Somerset?
Definitely, I think so. I think playing against the best players in the world gives you a perspective at where they're at, what their level's like, how they go about their game, what they do, what works for them. It teaches you what works for you, what are your strengths in the game, what are your weaknesses in the game, and you can come back and work on those. So playing in those and having those opportunities, as well as just playing in different countries, different environments, it does grow your game quickly.
As you say, it's been an amazing journey, having been released from Middlesex, brought here by Davey Nosworthy, establishing yourself as a first team regular under Matt Maynard, and now one of the first names on the team sheet under Jason Kerr. 3 different types of management, I guess, but you've been a constant throughout that time.
I guess there's been a lot of hard yards I've had to put in at the second team to sort of change people's opinions and I guess to get the backing, and because of where I've come from, being a batter to then change to a bowler, I guess you have to really cement your place and really have to almost be more consistent, I think is probably the word. So, but now to get the backing and the belief that the club have, it just feels fantastic that I can go out there and have their full support behind me.
You probably didn't think things could get better, but they did. Obviously, 2019 Somerset winning a trophy, and also more recently captaining the side. Huge honours for the club, getting a county cap as well. You're part of flagship now. How does it feel to be such an integral part of what is a pretty successful side?
Yeah, I mean that's, if I look back to that moment when I came here on trial and had that opportunity, they're all the things that I wanted to happen. I wanted to become a regular member of the first team. I wanted to become a cap player. I wanted to do all those things. So if I look back at it, I'm very proud of what I've managed to achieve and where I've got to in the game so far. Hopefully there's more to come. Hopefully more trophies and more successes coming my way, hopefully. But yeah, I'm very pleased with how it's gone in my time here. But that's got to be credit to the staff and the players that are around me and the environment that Somerset creates that allows you to become the best player that you can be.
What do you like most about playing for Somerset? What is so special about this club? And what does it mean to you to wear that white belt?
I think it's the the passion that the Southwest has for cricket and the supporters and the members. I don't think I've ever, well, the two clubs that I played at, the passion and I guess the support we get here is just unmatched, I think. And it really makes you, I guess it feels like a big family in a way. And we're all pushing for that one, hopefully for that one, what do we want to call it, the holy grail at the end of it. So, no, I love playing here, and hopefully it will be the place that I finish my career.